So, Mark here again, cooking books and sharing info. So, it's Saturday, still here doing what I do best is research, research, and more research, right? I scrutinize and just get my fingernails dirty and mine for information. I'm in the mining business. So, what I want to share with you guys real quick. So, I just want to discuss real quick what are amino acids, proteins. Amino acids are the constituent parts of proteins. I'll say that again. Amino acids, why I want to talk about them, I'll tell you in a second. The amino acids are the constituent parts of proteins. So amino acids, the body has 20, we have about 20 amino acids. 9 are essential, some are non-essential and conditional. But the important part to understand is that amino acids are what makes up the protein. And the amino acids are coded by what's called the codons. So the codons code the amino acid, and those amino acids are coded in a very particular and specific sequence. And therefore, the amino acids build the proteins, in that exact sequence that has been transferred to it by the codons. Now, again, the codons are three nucleic acids that are paired together that forms what's called a codon. And the codon is responsible for copying that information, that sequence in exact and precise form onto the amino acids, and the amino acids conveys that exact transcription to the proteins. And the end result of the proteins are polypeptides, right? And the end result of the polypeptides are a variety of things. Cellular repair, because this is what the protein does, right? It repairs the cells, cellular repair, growth, muscular growth. It also provides cellular support. So proteins play a variety of roles. But I say all that to say that going back to the codons are the three base pairs that has been synthesized, right? And those three base pairs have been transcribed from the DNA. And in the DNA, those three base pairs are considered information, right? So but what I want to focus on really, right, is not the I don't want to focus on the biological tangibility, right? What I want to focus on is the intangibility. I want to focus on the intangible instructions and information that is derived out of the DNA. That in the DNA, it all starts with the DNA, and those three codons are actually four when they're in the DNA. They're called nucleotides or nucleic acids, and those four are what. Those four are represented, are called the genetic language, because they have letters that represent A, T, C, and G: adenine, thymine, cysteine, and guanine. And these four bases are entrenched. They're engrossed with information. So I want to focus on the intangibility. The intangibility is the information and instruction that is encoded within the codons, that is within the nucleic acids, that's within the nucleotides. So the information and the information, I want to focus on the inception, which is in DNA, right? That's where it has its inception, within DNA. I want to focus on the inception of the information and instructions. I'll say that again. The inception of the intangible information and instruction. The inception of the intangibility of the instructions and information coded within DNA that is later, right, translated into the protein, the polypeptide. And the reason why I want to focus on the intangibility is the information and the instructions itself, right, which is called the source code or genetic code, right? The reason why I want to focus on that most is because my question is this: based off research, I can see the end result, right? The process, right, from interphase to the end, from interphase to the end result of the cycle. We can see, okay, a polypeptide, and I explained, which is proteins that is responsible for a variety of things. And the ultimate end result of that, when the cell goes through its division and mitosis and meiosis, are you and I, which is the organism that is developed, right? But my question is this. Here's the question, folks, and I want you to ponder on this. It all had its inception in the DNA, which is information. All has its inception in information and instructions, source code, right? Where does that information go after you and I have evolved into what we are right now. Physical organism that has functioning and working body parts, motor parts. Where does that intangible information goes? That information that created an entire organism, an entire world of a population of 7 billion people, that all entire population have been created with this information. And we see the end result, which is our physiological product, right? It ends with our physiological product, right? But my question is, where does that information goes after that? Right? Does that information has no beginning, so it definitely has no end. Where does the information, the instruction that has its inception in DNA, where does that information go after you and I have been fully developed physiologically? And that's my quest. Where is that information? Where does that information go? I personally believe, and based off research, that the information lies within us. It's still there. It's in our DNA. But that information, DNA, the information that is stored in each nucleic acid, which is represented by, like I said, letters that are considered the genetic language, there is a plethora of information. No different than your computer has binary digits, and those binary digits are stringed together in bits, bytes, megabits, and megabytes, and the computer can can store so much information and create a virtual world, an entire virtual world. Well, your DNA, instead of being binary, it's 4. Instead of just 2 bits, it's 4. And there is a magnitude of information that still is in our DNA. And that information is to guide us. It's to let us know what our ultimate purpose and function in this physical realm is. I'll say that one more time. The information that is encoded in your DNA still till today is supposed to reveal. You're supposed to have an apocalyptic. You're supposed to have an apocalyptic moment in life, right? Which is a revelation, some kind of divine revelation. And that DNA, that information is supposed to bring you to your ultimate purpose. Not your day-to-day 9 to 5, not your children, your wife, your home. That's all great. That's all good. But your ultimate purpose, your ultimate purpose is still lying dormant in your DNA. And it's up to us to just like the ribosome. The ribosome decodes the information that is passed to it by the mRNA or the RNA. Yeah, mRNA. mRNA brings information to the ribosome. The ribosome decodes that, deciphers that, translates that onto the tRNA and the amino acids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you and I believe that we have to figure out how to decipher and decode the information that still lies dormant within our DNA. And that information is to instruct us on what we are to do while we have time in this transitory realm that we're in. Because again, we have very limited time. I know we think we have a lot of time, but we really don't. Life is very short. You hear the cliche, but it's a very truth. It's a truth to that. Life is short. We don't have a lot of time. And so it's important for us to decipher and decode the information that lies within us dormantly. And we need to figure out that info so that we can act accordingly and perform what we're supposed to perform. Till next time, Mark here, Cooking Books. Peace.